Betsy and Thomas here for the American Intelligence Media. We have some exciting updates for you today, and Thomas is going to explain that. But before he does and gets on his roll, I wanted to take a moment to do a shout out for the amazing team of, I call them our Jedi warriors. These are young people, men and women, who are extremely talented in this whole cyber space. They give us cover. They know what they need to do in cyberspace. You see, I always say to you, this is an information war, and it is. And we've got to educate people and enlighten them and bring them to understand what truth is. Thomas and I have been beat up a lot on YouTube. That's okay. We're still marching forward. We know what our plan is. We know where we're going. And sometimes soldiers have to fall along the way. Well, that's fine, but we have to, as a group, continue to move forward. So again, thank you so much. Thomas, I know this sounds silly, but whenever I think about these young men and women out there, I feel like they're like my children, and they're helping their mom, Betsy, win the American Revolution.
And they are. And now you've collected the most amazing menagerie of geniuses donating to Truth News headlines that I can't. I read about this in a book once called The Brother of the Third Degree by Will Garver. Besides that, I've never even imagined such a thing. I was hoping.
Well, now you have to say what that is about.
It's about how people use art to. It's about these really high initiates who are very, very wise. And they actually work into the geopolitical sphere, but they're artists. And the way they find other people to come into their group, that they can be trained in these kind of wisdom arts, as you'd call it, is by painting paintings and putting them up in a room where music is playing. And then when they look at the people experiencing the beautiful art, they can then tell what capacities they have and whether they can be brought into that group. So it's kind of an initiation. Well, that is exactly what Cicada is. It's exactly that. It's music, but this is the beauty of it. And this is what I couldn't understand in any of it. And I still don't understand. I'm only awakening after my gigantic red pill that they gave me, the whole different members of them. So what I'm realizing is Cicada is exactly that. When you're looking at listening to the music, looking at the pictures, the code is in there. You see, when we talked to DeFango, this genius who came up with the strategy for Q as the new puzzle for that year, which then turned into this amazing worldwide phenomena, which we're only becoming acquainted with now, except that I've read them, and people tried to get me to talk about it. Look what happened when I talked about it. Now, here's what's really amazing. Everything blew up as we were talking about it and revealing it. Hardly anybody goes in and looks at the proof. They don't want to look at the proof. They would rather literally be a zealot and believe. But I'm going to point out a couple things today that I just heard, because I'm just getting into this phenomena, that was so disturbing that it is shocking, okay? It is shocking. But in a minute, we're going to go over the new Qposts, as we said we would, as I said I would. Now, Betsy, can I get out of saying that I was going to do that? Because these Qposts, they're really a waste of time in terms of giving them interpretation, because there's nothing in them. So do I have to keep, once they come back up, do I have to keep doing that?
Well, that's up to you, but I want to get back on the target today, because there is a reason that we're sitting here at the microphone today.
Yes. Well, first off, this morning, we've been watching the online alt-right. Some of them explode, some of us attack us, some of us then come out and state their positions for the first time ever, as if they had always stated their position. I heard people today state that they know the person who is Q and the people who are the Q group inside, and these people got all worked up until they told you, I've never heard anything like this, that they say it's inside of the Army intelligence. Well, that's the NSA.
Let's take a pause here, because that is very critical, that they have, number one, identified who their Q group is. We've shown you who our Q group is, believe it or not, but, we showed you which we showed you. Okay, for the others that claim that another group is running their Q operation, who are they? And here we hear.
And what's really funny is I'm just getting into this, so if I'm making mistakes, please, inform us. But it was stated that it was the Army Intelligence. Well, the Army Intelligence is called the ASA, the Army Security Agency, and they work for the NSA. So when you work for the ASA, you're working for the NSA, right? But it's not quite. ASA doesn't have access to everything. They only have access to the Army part, and then they're very compartmentalized. So for them to have all knowledge is silly. If it was NSA, which was scrubbing material, scrubbing metadata, and working with it through predictive linguistics and things, which they do all the time. These are the games they play. Then it would be a crime. Every one of those people who are part of that leak, of course, because it's been connected to Trump with the White House, the same people who had said that it was Trump in the White House because of the pictures that were shown from Air Force One while Trump was headed to a certain place. They showed the island that said this, and look at the timestamp. This proves I'm standing next to Trump. Again, I'm standing next to Trump at Camp David. Look at the pin on the desk. Look at the timestamp. So they're basically trying to link Trump into this leak. Now,
and it's a leak. And isn't that illegal? If you have a security clearance to be with the president, are you allowed to send all this stuff?
Massive leak, you go to jail. Unless...
Well, have they identified who the leaker is?
Well, we have 5 separate groups looking for these leakers, and supposedly the Q leaker can't be found, even though certain people say they know the exact person. They announced this on their broadcast, and they know exactly from where. Well, guess what? Doesn't seem plausible. I was in the military, and I believe it or not, people attacked me and said I'm a liar. I was never in the NSA. They looked up my records, and I was in the ASA. It's one and the same. Plus, when I was in the ASA, I trained in a multinational place, which I can name. It was outside of Pittsburgh, or Air, Massachusetts, Fort Devens. That's where the multi-training goes on. When you're in the ASA, you may be assigned, as I was, to the Air Force, the Navy, everybody. I moved around, and then I was in multi-unit operations where it didn't even matter. We didn't even wear uniforms, so saying I'm a liar because I'm actually ASA instead of NSA is a long time ago, by the way. And I don't understand these crypto codes put in any of this stuff with Cicada, so I can't be Cicada. And so I can't be NSA because that was so long ago, and I was in the ASA, working for the NSA, working for all the branches, blah, blah. So what? I've always made fun of that and said my past is very colorful, but that has it's built up my perspective to be able to see through the evil of some of these organizations I got sucked into. It doesn't mean I ever supported them for 1 second while I was in them. I was enlisted. Now, we got enlisted by these people that we are now in communication with, and a lot of our members are in communication with their members. So it can't be stopped now. It's already happened. The cross-pollination has happened, and you got to see it in the Qpost that we're going to talk about in a second. But mind you, if you know who the leaker is, you need to turn them in because that's against the law.
Well, you would be complicit in this crime.
You'd be complicit in the crime, and those people, if they are truly in the ASA, or they called it the Army Intelligence, if that's where they are, they can be court-martialed with unbelievable consequences. And if this is what they're putting their life on the line for, is these leaks, it ain't worth it, folks. I was there. I could have leaked. I wouldn't leak that. I'd leak real stuff if I would have been a whistleblower. There were no whistleblowers back in my day. It was really different, folks. But they're still doing the exact same thing. They still have the same strategy and the same plan. So let's go over.
Okay, before we go over the post, can we go over, I don't know that you really explained to people what you're seeing in alt media. I feel like there are channels there that are really trying to lead us to saying eventually, that this war, Armageddon, is going to be okay because it's in our national interest, and we need to stop that war drum.
You know the article these geniuses liked the most that we did, Betsy?
Which one?
How to see through a false flag, and we taught them perception management, how they control a narrative, and how they get people manipulated through a psyops with a narrative. That's what politics is. It's basically psyops, and it's basically just a narrative. It's not true, okay? It's just how well can they convince you. With the mainstream media pumping your stuff because the Associated Press and Reuters says that, then that's what it is. But when they decide to take you down, you can be taken down. Now, let's reemphasize that. We didn't commit any crimes because the people we're in contact with were the first set of Q dumps. Then in October through
And
No.
they did not leak any
They didn't leak anything.
classified information or take pictures of the president's desk and post it on their site.
They made predictions which were correct.
Predictions
and go
are
look
fine.
at all the stuff that
Committing
Betsy has put up for
crimes,
you.
and that's a different thing.
No crimes from the first Q. Second Q started giving out these pictures and showing that they had, for a minute, a little inside White House information. Well, listen, here's how that happened. When those pictures were taken, the person whoever took them could now be blackmailed, couldn't they? They're a leaker. There were not only Horowitz and his 500, but there's all the agencies are supposed to be looking for leakers. They've only found one, which shows you it's all fake.
Yeah.
They found one leaker. Hello, we know who the leakers were. They came on the public broadcasts and again leaked. It's so... Here, I want to give a shout out to Jeff Sessions, who woke up out of his Rip Van Winkle sleep, fell on the floor, and one of his eyes opened and said, "Hey, you guys over at the FBI are getting me in trouble. They woke me up because you guys won't give the Congress any of the information they want, which would show that all of these crimes have been committed." And so, shout out to Jeff Sessions. I know he went back to sleep probably after that. So here's the deal. Remember that. Whoever is telling you this stuff about Q with their Q interpretations, really, I want them to make a list of 12 things that Q predicted. There aren't 12 things Q predicted. Now, there are many things that the first Q predicted, but the second Q, which we're calling a Q psyops, which remember what it is. It is the perfection of the psyops that was NSA and CIA's experiment with Facebook. Facebook may go down now. And by the way, you guys are wrong who said that you predicted that Amazon would go first. Facebook is going first, and we helped create that. Just, why certain people refuse to look at what has been brought up. The theft of leader technologies, social network scalability, IBM Eclipse Foundation, Highlands Forum. If people don't address that, they're not going to get who Facebook is and why they're going down. We've already explained this and written about it so much. Just look at the intelligence reports. We were the second ones out there to bash Facebook. It started 2 years ago when they started releasing information because obviously he being Dude Zuckerberg, started dissolving the company some time ago. Just look, he had a plan to dissolve it, take the money out. He couldn't do it quickly because then it would crash. And so when Trump just looks at Facebook, they lose money. When Trump just looked at Amazon, they lost money. And we told you this. This is what's going to come. We predicted these. This isn't Q. I don't need someone in the Army Intelligence Agency to tell you this. Simply use logic. And so please, use discernment, use logic. If you need to believe in Q so that you get your hope there, and you need to believe in Q translators, that's fine. We're not trying to tell you anything except the truth that we were given. It looks as if a whole lot of people can't even look at the truth. Now, here's the truth. We were yesterday interpreting in my own inimicable and sometimes horrible way the Qpost, and we were on 972. Oh, look at 973, March 28th at 6:25. It says CM locked out of GA. GA, I now find out, is Great Awakening, which is the name of a series we just did. That's an accident, folks. That is not a clue.
No, ours is New World.
But at the top of the thing, it said Great Awakening. I just saw it and I'm going, whoa! I've never been to the Great Awakening site until yesterday. I've never been on 8chan until yesterday.
No, ours is called A New World Awakening.
I know that.
Okay.
But at the top of one of the banners, it said the Great Awakening.
Yes.
Like, and I went, oh.
Well, it
we
is.
accidentally said the same words.
No.
We didn't know that.
It's because
we didn't do that on purpose.
It's because that's the resonance that's out there worldwide. People are ready for the awakening. Some people call that the Sada Yuga. You know, it's the awakening. Now, let's get to the post so we can
call
run
it
through
the red
those.
pill. So, CM, I don't know what that means, but I guess that means, as you're going to find out, they're locked out of their own page, but then I don't understand why they then posted some other stuff, which doesn't make any sense. CM locked out of GA. GA is Great Awakening, I'm told by people, so I went there, and yes, that's locked too. And they say that it's here, they say it's, or in another place, they say it's dead, it's been killed. And then you're going to find out here in a minute, they froze QAnon.hub. Now, I had never even been to these sites. Can't be us. But let's say we receive messages in bottles, and I'm not kidding. Messages in bottles. If I even explained it to you, you'd go, oh, that has to be Anon, the real Anon.
I told you we have Jedi warriors
The real
out
Anonymous.
there.
It's the real Anonymous.
Really smart guys
When
and
people
gals.
can make stuff appear on your screen that you didn't even come near, that's anonymous. Okay, so and that's who did this. It looks like. Well, they did. They sent in a message, and here was the message. They said, "We like Betsy and Thomas. Those people were being mean to you." I don't know. That's all I got. Okay, here we go. Sniffer detects traces of bypass override. I don't know what that means, but I'm told by really smart people that means that's how they locked people out. They took over the site. Again, layers upon layers. In other words, they're saying unbelievable bright people who took this over. We can't get it back. Right? I mean, that's what they're saying.
Right.
New approach to silence. In other words, oh my, we have to come up with a new idea of why we were going to be silent and why these people took us over when we took them over. But now Anonymous may be taking us over, someone more powerful than Cicada. That's what I make of this. I'm not sure. New board will be created. They say right here, they destroyed their board. Okay, I don't know what that means. I guess this means the posting board they're on it. That may be no big deal. I don't know. I'm told this will come back up in a couple days anyway by the inside. And what do they say? Team to secure. Good luck securing from Anonymous. So good luck on that one. Time to complete 1 to 2 days. That's exactly what they told me, the smart guys. I can say that. The smart guys from Cicada, I can say that, right? Yeah, I just did. So we don't have to cut that out. The smart guys told me, some of the smart guys told me, don't worry, they'll have it up in a day or two. But when they do, they are going to see some things that they've never seen before.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait.
Oh, did I warn them? That was a warning for team to secure. Good luck.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. I don't know any of this. Now, the next one blew our minds. Someone called me up and said, oh my gosh, look at this. Send it to me. And it's 9. Oh, let's go to 974. Next one. Sorry. 974. At the bottom it says, March 28th, we are being attacked on all devices used to talk. Whoa. That's way beyond this little thing they're here. So in other words, their personal phones. All devices used, and he says talk, not chat, not email. Their phones have been attacked. I wouldn't mess with Anonymous if I was you. I'd tell the truth, because Anonymous happens to be obsessed with the truth. We tell the truth. I guess that's why they like us. And you tell even more truth than I do, Betsy.
I just get to it faster.
You get to it way faster. GA is terminated. That means the board is terminated. Locked. No further posts on GA. Kill. Source is abroad. I don't know what that means.
Maybe they mean abroad like Bessie.
Don't confuse people. You're not abroad anyway. You are wonderful, incredible. We don't know whether you're real or not. You could be an angel. We have people pinch you now and then to see if you're real. Source is abroad. That means, they told me this. The smart guys told me that means that they thought they got hit from abroad. Well, then look, not domestic.
Now, but
couldn't have been us.
Well, is it a coincidence that Julian Assange's internet lines went down?
You said that, and you see, Betsy, you are 4 news cycles ahead of me. I haven't read my Truth News headlines for 4 or 5 cycles. I'm going to cry here just talking about it, because if I'm not connected to the news right now, I'm like a...
They could have thought that this attack is coming from Julian Assange,
That's
and they
the
don't.
point.
And they don't know where it's coming from, so they just shut down his internet connection. Now that's just pure, theory. But
no, it's not. Now, as you know,
it's coincidental.
I have had many hours of communication with these people since they contacted us. You haven't heard all of it, but let me just tell you something that I haven't told you. They know, the inner smart dudes and gals know Julian Assange, help him, give him WikiLeaks, and supposedly even connected him to Kim.com and some other person I'm supposed to know who I don't know. So they're deeply into that. So for you to suggest that Julian Assange might have been aware of this takedown, remember, we have posted videos which have messages in them.
No, I didn't say Julian Assange is aware of it. I just said there is an interesting coincidence that his internet lines went down. The people on the other side of the cyber warfare want to know why they're getting these attacks and where they're coming from. And so they said, it's Julian Assange. They cut his internet off.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying that they're connected, but they're the good guys. Like Assange is a good guy. And yes, they could have hit a bunch of people as a distraction for the fact that nobody's talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Where are you, Jerome Corsi?
Q at the same time, and on HN, on their board, and on this hub all went down. Here's the message from March 28th, 1634, a few minutes after that one, which said they just got hit. Anonymous posts, ID C9D068. Don't know what any of that means. Jeff Sessions exposed. Jeff Sessions exposed. Well, we exposed him a long time ago. 520. Jeff Sessions right now, look, he was so exposed he had to open an eye and say, hey, look, FBI, would you give him the records? You're going to have to, this is illegal what you're doing. Then it says, Q agent of the clowns in America. Now, I've been told that means that there's a group called Clowns in America, which is, of course, an acronym, CIA, which they've turned into Clowns in America. Jeff Sessions, agent of the Clowns in America, equals Hillary Clinton. Now, we have already pointed out that Jeff Sessions is very crooked, and we have yet to totally reveal who Jeff Sessions is because he's in office right now, and maybe if Trump could turn him like he's turned everybody else. Until Trump makes the move, we're not going to do anything terrible, but now that I see this, I think we should reveal what we know to be truth about Jeff Sessions. So the point is that he's saying that Jeff Sessions is an agent of the people who create Q. I don't know anything about that, except that Jeff Sessions is an enemy of the state. Hillary Clinton, yes, absolutely, it equals Clinton. Okay, that means that Clinton got to Sessions. Well, we had already discovered that, so I guess they know what we are thinking. All right, so then it says 8chan and Q have been COMPED, which big time, which is compromised. I understand. 8chan and Q, this what we're looking at right now, have been compromised big time, and we just heard them say their phones, or at least what they talk on, went down. Okay, so there you have he's saying, anonymous, whoever anonymous is, and I don't know. 8chan and Q have gone down, and we just had confirmation that their board went down, okay? These posts tell it all. Look at the posts, folks. If you are into all this code monkey stuff and you're into the proof, you want the proof? You want the proof that there are two Qs? Look at these posts. Why is no one talking about these? Why is no one in the entire Q movement, especially those who say that they're revealing the truth, why aren't they talking about these posts? These posts are absolutely objective and cannot be
dismissed.
That's the word I was looking for.
And you can't run away and say you have a cold today and then come back next week and start at post 990.
And
you
play
have
like
to
these
address where you left off.
And play like these posts didn't
yes,
exist. Absolutely.
They did.
8chan and Q have been comped again, it says. Do not trust anything Q says. He is a clown agent of the Kabbalah. Okay, well, you know what that means. Yeah, don't have to say. 8chan also has been comped by the clowns in America. So 8chan, go ahead. Do you not, when they say compromised and then they just described it was layer upon layer, we need to be silent. We need our security to come in here. We don't know what happened. So they said it'll come up in a day or two real quick, but when it comes up, I'll keep an eye on it, folks. It's going to get entertaining, I bet. Then it lists some of the criminals that we've been targeting. And it lists here: Jeff Sessions, Mueller, Comey, Wray, Trey, Gowdy, Obama, Hillary, Rosenstein, D.W. Schultz, Alwan brother criminals, John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Harry Reid, and more equal all clowns in America, agents of the banking cartel trying to take America down. Now, all in bold. All in bold. And then the end is all in caps. Scumbag Sessions and fake Q were just exposed the other day by American intelligence media with a question mark. Yes, we did, on an audio, completely. We declared him an enemy of the state, and we've now spoken 3 times about Sessions, and we did reveal part. I guess what Anonymous is not in communication with us, folks. This tells me they want us to go ahead and release what I mentioned in a tape, which is I have enough stuff to bring down Jeff Sessions from absolute open source material. Why doesn't someone go after this person? Why is he protected?
Because he's protected
He's
by
Clinton.
the very people that are doing this stuff, hon.
It's the Clinton thing.
Uh-huh.
It's the Clinton thing.
Yeah, we knew that way back when.
Okay, so Then it says, and then it looks, I don't know, I guess this is an answer down at the bottom, March 28th, 6:36 from Q. I'm sure glad he puts Q there, then I know it's Q.
Right.
And it says, you failed, Q. I don't think so, Q. They just took your 8chan, your board, and this thing down, and you were crybabying over here. Crybabying that you've never been hit like this before, layer upon layer upon layer, and you don't have any clue, and then you're trying to now save face. So let's look at the next entry. I'm so sorry I'm taking so long.
No.
Then to make sure that everything's okay.
Which one are we on?
976 from Q, because it says right on it, Q. Oh my God, I'm going to be a super sleuth. No, I'm super sleuthing now. I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to look at the ID code. Okay. Ooh, big old ID code. Ooh.
It's better not just to say anything.
Same and different ID code. So I know nothing, but I can tell you the numbers aren't the same from the lower one where they just crybabied. So then they post in this one, March 28th. It has at 22:14, Q with his ID, but something else. So I don't know, maybe it's somebody else going in here some different way. And they post an article, wonder who leaked this, fire in the hole. It wasn't leaked. I went there, I read the article. It's like blah. I'm not even going to go over the article. It's so blah.
You know what it's like? It's like sometimes people send me news that's like 3 or 4 days old, and I go, really? You think that's cutting edge? So whoever's behind this Q psyops, they don't even know what the pressing news is of the day, much less intelligence.
I always say this, I'm now saying this is a 5th grader reading the news.
They're just flopping in the wind.
The content of Q is a 5th grader reading the news. Okay, 977, March 28th at 22:16. Seeing a lot of your leaks lately, friend. Good to have a friend leaker for once. Anonymous is saying this. Now get this. Anonymous is teasing them and allowing them to post what they want. I think they're messing with them because they're allowing them to post certain little bits, but they're saying they're down. And it is down. So it says, seeing a lot of your leaks lately, friend. Q leaks. Good to have a friend leaker for once. That is a joke. That is anonymous. Like I make jokes of people. This is an insult. This is a slap across the face. And what do they say? Q responds 1 minute later. And by golly, that must be Q because look there, it's got that same ID that other person had, even though it doesn't seem to be the same ID that one was. Nope. So this person he's talking to now got through some door, obviously, that Anonymous didn't close, so they're chatting. And Q and Anonymous seems to have just made fun of them, is what I think is going on, but I could be wrong. So then Q responds 1 minute later. HRC, that's a secret. I don't know. Who's HRC?
HRC?
Oh,
could that be Hillary Rodham Clinton?
No.
Oh my God.
It's a clue.
It's a clue.
And then it says 2.12.09. And then it says very bad. And bad is in capital letters with an exclamation mark. Q. They're so happy they got through to respond to Anonymous, I think. That they just said, look at the WikiLeaks. This is how I interpret this. Look at the WikiLeaks that came on February the 12th, 2019. That's the leak they're referring to that Anonymous is making a joke about. And so they're going, yeah, we leaked that. In other words, the person who did get on here is a leaker who Anonymous knows by their obviously by whatever they're looking at, because they got through. And so now they're having a conversation, and he made fun of him, and he says, yeah, that was me who did this. So he just made this idiot identify the leak that he presented to make sure that Anonymous knew exactly who he was. Do these people not know they're being played?
Well, are they at all concerned that they're now all wrapped up together with a national security crime? Do they understand that? That they obviously know that
whistleblowers are protected if you follow the law. If you don't and you're in the military, it could mean death.
But what if you're outside of the military? Maybe you're a close family member and you decide to take pictures and send them out to your friends.
In the White House, that's a felony.
Okay. So
massive felony, and the leak itself is national security. You lose your national security thing. Every agreement you sign says you go to jail and you got to pay money.
Whoever's behind Q would have had to have asked these person to do this, or someone would have had to. They're all complicit in this crime. So if they reemerge again, these fake, phony propaganda, psyops, Q people, sorry people, I know some of you are just flopping around with this, but they're all part of the crime.
They're complicit if they know the people exactly who committed these crimes, who admit that they did commit them, if they have evidence. That evidence itself, once you have that evidence, or you are part of it, you're complicit. That is true. Now, this is funny. I didn't understand this until we're just talking. 978, March 28th, anonymous. It says, did you see Code Monkey's message? Code Monkey's message is referring to message number 975, which is when they took over the site. So now they're making jokes back and forth with each other, and this idiot doesn't know who the one that can still get on the board, obviously, is Anonymous is testing him. So he said, did you see Code Monkey's message? That's the message that was in these things that he posted to be the proof that it's a psyops at this point, right? And what does Q answer? The fake Q, by the way, this because it's not even the same code. I'm a very, very good code breaker. It says March 28th, 2 minutes later, it says, GA is dead, Q. In other words, it's saying, wait a second, whose side are you on? Why is he repeating? GA is dead. Everybody knows it's already been posted. They've cried about it. Why are they saying the GA is dead again? Q, to get their letter up there. Q, to say, oh no, we still have control of the site. One person's able to get through, obviously. Let's see if there's anybody else got through. Oh, here's another person got through. So here we go. Next one, 979. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. They're asking Anonymous to help them. He just closed your board down. Anonymous just attacked you, wiped you out. And now, listen to this. March 28th, 2225. GA is dead. Check line 19, $4, what is that? Ampersand, dollar sign, ampersand back, whatever. New board being routed. Thank you, Patriot. Q. Do you realize what just happened? They just told somebody who's anonymous, who just busted them, how they're trying to rebuild. And I just told you, you better be careful. They're going to build stuff right into your new system, so they'll take that over in a minute. And sorry. Oh, did I just give away? Sorry, Anonymous, if I just gave away the plan. So, new board being routed. Thank you, Patriot. They're thanking. It
was the they. The they is thanking.
Q is thanking the Patriot, which is Anonymous, who just knocked them out and just told them how to get in to check a certain line to see if he could help. This is stupid. These people are ignorant. They do not know who they're dealing with. This is like other people that I kept saying, you don't know who you're dealing with. Because when I said that to that person, I contacted the cicada, and I'm going, no, I'm joined with this group of people that's so smart. I can ask any question. They'll give me all the data, all the evidence I want. Anyway, shut up.
What we're witnessing, Thomas, is a grassroots. This is what a real grassroots movement looks like. And we have cells all around the world. What they do is they take out this information, they push it out in the way that their audience can best handle it. They rewrite the narratives, but they tell the story, and everybody knows what our next plan is.
And then here, to me, is proof in the pudding. I've only been examining this for 24 hours. Proof in the pudding is the next message, 980. March 28th at 22:34. Same person talking to Anonymous, giving out the line that he's supposed to go check to help on. Says MSM. Oh, I think that's a secret. Talking about red versus blue pill. Okay, I threw myself down with humor with laughter from the humor of this the first time. It was like, that's what this is this person who broke in to try to prove they still have control is now going to give us a Q drop.
And one that is so stale and old.
Well, worse than stale and old, this is so pathetic.
But that's as deep as their intellect will take them.
It proves that this is a person that may be contributing that just asks silly questions that's supposed to be a Q drop that's supposed to mean something. So to prove they still have control of this site, this is what the person puts. MSN, talking about red versus blue pill. Do they remember the movie Matrix? It's been talked about now for a decade. Matrix reference. Ooh, they made a reference to Matrix. And coincidence? Q. Okay, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
But people are falling for it. There's this young videographer. He's young and hip, and he likes to chat about things like this. And he's fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker. He's up there on a video today talking about the red pill, blue pill article. I'm like, oh my gosh, is that as deep as you're going to get? And then you begin to wonder, well, who pays you? Maybe the Global Engagement Center, Bureau of Broadcasting Governors, or maybe even SES is paying you too. See, we have to start questioning how these people are getting paid. And that's why we asked Jerome, hey, where are you getting your money? Who's backing you? And he said, we posted it, he's supportive of senior executive services and the Tech Valley, Silicon Valley way to run government.
And we know that's been penetrated by every intelligence agency on the face of the earth because it's a multinational company. We invited all of them in, gave them all the codes. It's all open. So this silly post, which is what I've said from the beginning, the new posts are a collective of people. You can tell who they are by the way they speak. This is one of their weakest voices. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this voice says something to the effect of, ooh, after I told you about my big leak with HRC on a certain date, then I'm going to tell you this. I'm the one who leaked the blue pill article. I am so esoteric. I am so deep. I am so profound. I am Q. I know all things. I know the blue pill, red pill.
Sounds more like a soy boy, if you ask me.
That is so pathetic.
Because that is such a milquetoast article.
This proves that the Q dumps are done by different people. This is with this person's contribution. They probably contribute now and then because they're as pathetic as the other ones I've read recently. Now, it can get more pathetic. And the next one, 981. By the way, why is no one quoting these? Why has no one quoted any of these or the one where it showed down at the bottom that they say Aim for Truth is correct? Not only about Sessions, but about a lot of stuff. Now, this one's March 28th. It's number 981. It's 2252. So, it took them less than 20 more minutes for another person to break in who has a different ID, calling themselves anonymous. Because they just realized that this idiot over here in 980 has been busted by Anonymous. They've gone in and they've taken all of his files. And right now, they probably went in through this guy to get their phones. Okay, because they're exposing themselves. That's what you do. That's what we did. We said, talk about SES, or no matter what your response is to SES. If you say the words SES, whatever your response is, that's who you are.
Right.
Now, let's go on. Anonymous, a different ID completely, says, I am terrified to go to bed, but I have to. I have to work tomorrow, ... What if I wake up and everyone is moved to a new board? How will I know? I've been on this train since CBTS. I can't lose communication now, ! And thank the Lord. Somebody comes in, what is this, 6 minutes later? Oh, it's Q, sorry. It's the Q thing. And of course, it's signed by Q. And Q says, now this is the last communication we've seen, okay? On these boards, which is Q, and everyone talking about Q, I haven't found a single person mentioning what's on the board, talking about these drops, or talking about the fact that they're closed down. If they're not talking about it, that's because they got red-pilled so bad their head is on fire, and they can't talk about it. Or they come up with, oh, we know exactly who it is. I know the very person.
No, that's not what they'll do. They'll change the conversation.
Yes.
Like, what's the big conversation with the guy that got picked up in Cleveland this morning?
No, don't go there.
Okay. Well, but whatever. They're trying to change the narrative so you change your focus on what's happened here.
I had someone this morning talk about this, and when they were asked a question, they said, I still think North Korea is going to kill us all.
Yeah.
We're going to the peace table.
Yeah.
Little Kim went and got bitch slapped by the premier, Chairman Xi, and you are screaming war in North Korea, the same old nonsense. We told you from the beginning that was all fake. Anyway,
the bankers
thank
need
God
this war because the economy is in trouble.
I'm going to end it here because Q got through and Q answered, and I feel good and I can go to bed now because Q answered last night and hasn't answered anything more, and I can't wait to see the next things because this is all new to me. By the way, thank you. Shout out like you gave. I gave a shout out to these geniuses who are schooling me because I don't know any of this. I'm not even, I never took it up. So it says, thank God, it says Q at the bottom. I want to warn you that from the beginning. You are safe. They art. It's all cap. I have to read it with inflection. I'll scoot back. They are terrified. The people who just attacked and took down the sites, they're terrified. But wait, they're talking to your buddies over here. Sleep well, patriot. You elected us to keep you safe. Whoa, whoa! Hold the horses! Who the heck elected Q, and how are they keeping us safe? This is building up to that thing that they're the military. Trust them. They said, yesterday they said, we know everything and no one else does.
Well, they want to be white hats. Everybody's waiting for the white hats to ride in. And now they want to associate themselves with the Pentagon and the military and all of that. But that's not who these people are.
You have elected us to keep you safe. I didn't elect them.
I didn't like them.
We will not fail. They just failed. They just got knocked off their thing, and their little gig is kind of got canned, and nobody's talking about it. Crickets out there for those shoe interpreters. Crickets. These crickets are so big. They're going to get squished by the crickets. GA will change. In other words, sending out the message, yes, we have been totally knocked down and hacked. Sending out the message again. GA will change. The Great Awakenings board where they post. Notification will be made. In other words, you can go to sleep. We're going to tell you everything's going to be okay. We're going to tell you where the new board is so that you can get your Q drop and live your life based upon it. Notification will be made. Where we go one, we go all. Wrong. Where you went is pretty much zero, and I ain't going there, Q. I didn't elect you. I don't believe what you're saying. And now that I know who people say you are, and I know you're not, you are not that either. Which then tells me pretty clearly that this is a counterintelligence operation. I called it a psyops. It could have just been another perfection of the NSA CIA Facebook psyops thing to see how far they could go. I don't know. That, one could assume that. It could be certain intelligence agencies who got on the inside because they have the inside track. And we indicated that yesterday. I hope you get the message there. That's pretty obvious what's going on here in terms of just sheer logic, if it's true. And otherwise, folks, this last message is ridiculous. Anonymous is not terrified. And you're not sleeping well. And these people, this psyops, they're not patriots. So I could go through every word and point out we didn't elect them. So I don't know what else to say to y'all except that when you get red-pilled, it hurts, okay? Nobody likes to wake up. You don't like your mama to wake you up in the morning to go to school, right? Okay, and nobody likes change except a wet baby. So I don't know what to tell you. We told you this from the beginning. If you're not ready to get red-pilled, then just, as Betsy says, look other places for the truth that you're looking for, but good luck, because I've been asking all these geniuses where else they find the truth, like they get on Betsy's site, aimfortruth.org, Truth News Headlines, and they say, oh, no, we read every word. We don't even talk until we read it. And I have not read 5 news cycles. I'm out of here.